Deep beneath the surface of our planet, in places where sunlight has never once touched, something has been evolving in total darkness for millions of years. And what it became will make you question whether the word monster is strong enough. Our planet has thousands of ecosystems hidden from the sun, deep-sea trenches, flooded cave systems, underground lakes buried under glaciers, and in every single one, life found a way. Not the cute, cuddly kind. The kind that lost its eyes, grew translucent skin you can see through, and developed senses that feel almost supernatural. These are the creatures that have never seen light, and what evolution turned them into is genuinely terrifying. Let's start with something that looks ripped straight from a horror script. The olm, also called the human fish, is a cave-dwelling salamander found in the underground rivers of the Balkans. It has no eyes, none. Where eyes should be, there's just smooth, pale skin. But here's the part that keeps herpetologists up at night. It can live for over 100 years, barely move, barely eat, and still survive. Scientists have recorded individual olms sitting in the same spot for an entire decade. And the olm doesn't just survive. It thrives in a way that defies biology. It can go 10 years without eating. Its metabolism dropped so low it borders on suspended animation. Scientists believe it evolved this extreme patience because in total darkness, food doesn't come to you. You wait for it, sometimes for years. And you don't panic, you just stop. That stillness is arguably more unsettling than any fang or claw. Now let's go deeper, way deeper. At the bottom of the ocean, nearly 11 kilometers down in the Mariana Trench, lives the snailfish. And before you picture something small and harmless, understand this. It's the deepest living vertebrate ever discovered, surviving under pressure so extreme it would crush a submarine. Its body is essentially a gelatinous bag of barely contained biology. It has no rigid bones, because rigid bones would shatter. Everything about it is soft, translucent, and alien. But the snailfish has a secret weapon, one that shouldn't exist at those depths. Its cells contain a molecule called TMAO that acts like biological antifreeze and anti-crush armor simultaneously. The deeper the snailfish lives, the more TMAO it produces. Scientists think there's actually a physical depth limit where even this molecule can't protect life anymore. And the snailfish is living right at that edge. One step deeper, and nothing could survive. Here's something that shifts the entire framing of this topic. We've been assuming these creatures are victims of darkness, animals trapped below, making do. But some of them chose this. The Texas blind salamander actively abandoned surface life sometime in the last few million years, crawled into underwater caves, and never came back. Its eyes didn't disappear because they couldn't develop. They disappeared because the creature stopped investing energy in them. In darkness, eyes are a liability. They can get infected. They cost energy to maintain. Evolution said, delete them. And what fills the void when eyes go dark? Something far more disturbing. The next creature we're about to cover didn't just lose its vision, it replaced it with a sensory system so precise it can detect a single drop of blood from over a kilometer away in total darkness. Stay with us because this is where it gets genuinely unsettling. The vampire squid. Its name alone earns its place on this list. Found in the deep oxygen minimum zones of the ocean, layers where almost no oxygen exists, it shouldn't be alive. Most animals would suffocate instantly. But the vampire squid evolved hemocyanin, a copper-based blood that binds oxygen with extraordinary efficiency. It cloaks itself in a velvet-black bioluminescent mantle, and when threatened, it doesn't squirt ink like a regular squid. It inverts itself, wrapping its web of arms around its body into a spiky, glowing ball of nightmare. Here's the plot twist. The vampire squid is technically not a squid. It's not an octopus either. Scientists eventually had to create an entirely new taxonomic order just for this creature because nothing else alive fits its biology. It's a living fossil, a remnant of an ancient evolutionary branch that everything else on that branch went extinct from. The vampire squid is the sole survivor, the last of its kind, in the darkest place in the ocean. Now imagine a cave where the only energy source isn't sunlight, isn't heat, and isn't any chemical you'd recognize. It's hydrogen sulfide, poison. In Movile Cave in Romania, sealed for over 5 million years, scientists discovered a complete underground ecosystem powered entirely by toxic gas. Over 48 species found nowhere else on Earth. Spiders, leeches, water scorpions, all blind, all pale, all feeding on bacteria that eat poison for breakfast. This cave was accidentally discovered in 1986 when workers drilled into it. They had no idea they were opening a door to another world. If you're watching this and your jaw hasn't dropped yet, good, because the most mind-bending discoveries are still ahead. And if you're learning something genuinely new right now, hit subscribe. It's free. It takes 1 second, and it means you won't miss what's coming. Because what we're about to cover next involves a creature that evolved a body part that has no equivalent anywhere in surface life. Nothing else on Earth has this. Nothing. The Remipedia. Say it out loud because you should know its name. It's a crustacean, distantly related to shrimp, found only in anchialine caves, coastal caves flooded with seawater that connects to underground ocean passages. For most of its history, scientists assumed it was a harmless filter feeder. Then they discovered it has venomous fangs. A tiny crustacean, completely blind, living in underwater caves in total darkness, evolved hollow fangs that inject paralytic venom. It's the only venomous crustacean ever found. And here's the biological mystery that no one has fully solved. Why? In caves where prey is scarce and tiny, why evolve venom powerful enough to liquefy muscle tissue? Some scientists believe the Remipedia is actually an apex predator of its cave ecosystem, hunting creatures much larger than itself by injecting venom and then sucking the dissolved contents out like a grotesque juice box. A creature the size of your thumb, in total darkness, using chemical warfare to dissolve its meals. Let's take a sharp turn into something almost philosophical. Deep in the caves of the Yucatan Peninsula, scientists found a species of cavefish that has been isolated so long it's actively evolving in real time, fast enough to observe. Different populations of the same fish, in caves just miles apart, have developed completely different physical adaptations. One group lost taste buds, another grew enormous lateral line sensors, another developed a jaw so powerful it can crush rock. Same species, same darkness, radically different nightmares. That's not evolution as a historical event. That's evolution as a live experiment happening right now, underground, in the dark, and we only started watching in the last few decades. Every cave system on Earth is a separate laboratory, and most of them have never been explored. What you're about to hear was only confirmed within the last few years, and it rewrote what scientists believed was possible for complex life. Buckle up. Lake Vostok, buried under 4 kilometers of Antarctic ice, sealed from the surface for approximately 15 million years. Scientists drilled through the ice sheet, and when they pulled up samples from the lake below, they found DNA. Not ancient fossilized DNA, active, living, unknown. Over 3,500 unique DNA sequences that match nothing in any biological database on Earth. We have no idea what's down there, living, right now, under Antarctica, in a lightless lake that's been cut off from everything for 15 million years. And now the one that rewired how I personally think about life on other planets. In the hydrothermal vents of the mid-Atlantic ridge, there lives a shrimp, the Remicaris exoculata, that is completely blind in the conventional sense. Its eyes dissolved away millions of years ago. But on its back, it evolved a photoreceptive organ, essentially a backup eye, facing upward, capable of detecting the faintest imaginable glow from the hydrothermal vents above it. It navigates by detecting heat radiation as light. A creature that lives in total darkness evolved a second set of eyes to see heat. This is alien biology, living on Earth. The scariest creature on this list isn't the biggest or the most venomous. It's the water bear, the tardigrade, found in deep cave biofilms, permafrost, and Antarctic ice simultaneously. 8 legs, microscopic, and biologically immortal in ways nothing else approaches. Expose it to the vacuum of space, it survives. Boil it, it survives. Freeze it for 30 years, it wakes up. Hit it with radiation that would kill every other creature on Earth 1,000 times over. It repairs its own DNA, strand by strand, in real time. Tardigrades have existed for over 500 million years. They survived every mass extinction, all 5 of them. They will almost certainly outlast humanity. And the final, most haunting thought. Scientists estimate that 90% of deep cave ecosystems on Earth have never been explored by humans. The creatures we've described today were all found by accident. Wrong turns, drilled holes, washed up samples from nets. There are almost certainly organisms living in total darkness right now that make everything on this list look tame. We just haven't found them yet. The darkness is still keeping its secrets. Every creature in total darkness is proof that evolution doesn't need light, warmth, or anything we consider essential. It just needs time and pressure, and it will build something extraordinary out of both. If this sent your mind somewhere strange and wonderful, our next video is going to push it even further. We're diving into facts so bizarre and confirmed real that your brain will physically refuse to accept them as true. Subscribe right now so you don't miss it. The rabbit hole goes much, much deeper.